Hi, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to do those videos to try to inspire, guide, and equip you with some tools along the way on your own spiritual journey, on your own path, on your heroic path, if you don't like the word spiritual. Today I want to talk about a very popular and hot topic these days: purpose, meaning, calling, all synonyms and buzzwords around the same topic, if you ask me. And I've noticed working with people from early 20s to much older that actually there is no age to talk about this. Whether you're getting into the workplace and you're contemplating what should I do and what's my calling, what's my purpose, or maybe you're a little bit older like I am and you're like, okay, I've done quite a bit of the corporate world and now I'm ready for my true calling. Maybe it's not fulfilling, what I've been doing up to now. Or maybe you're older than I am and you're like, well, I feel the need for something else, a little bit more nuance and meaning and purpose in my life. Well, I hope this chat will be inspiring and give you a different perspective. Now, I'll base this on what I call my 3 U's for what purpose is. I genuinely believe that we have 3 different purposes. One that is unique, and another one that is universal, and another one that is ultimate. So what would be our unique purpose? Mine, yours? Well, the word says it all, right? It's truly unique to you. Well, that will require some level of introspection about who you are and how you want to show up into this world. I believe that we all have sets of skills and talents and genius zones that wants to express, and they are uniquely yours. Maybe, yes, there will be similarities in what you'll do versus many other people, but your own secret sauce, your own essence will be different than any other people. And I think that's what the unique purpose is all about. What are those strengths that you have? What are those, special skills and likings? Maybe it's time to talk about passion and joy and what brings you light, I understand that there's multiple school of thoughts on the subject, right? Some people say, follow your passion. Other people say, don't follow your passion. Well, it's up to you to discover. I can think of maybe 2 different, ideas on the matter. One comes from Cal Newport, which I like and read a lot. And he says in his book, So Good They Can't Ignore You. That comes from Steve Martin, I think his name was, the comedian, right? Did stand-ups and a lot of comedies. He answered this to someone who asked him, how can I be as good as you and do what you do? He said, be so good they can't ignore you. So according to Cal and Steve, maybe, if you follow the skills that you're good at and you put them forward into this world and you build on it and you maybe dedicate a lot of hours and deliberate practice, as Eric Anderson would say, and you become very good at it, well, indeed, you'll be so good they won't be able to ignore you. Maybe athletes are a good example for that, or some musicians or people like that. But it applies in every sphere. I think it's a truth. If you are very good at what you do, you won't, go undercover, so to speak, right? And then Cal says, well, if you do that and you accumulate successes, well, it's going to appeal to you and you will want to do it maybe a little bit more, and maybe passion will arise from this. I respect that. That's one way to go about it. And my coach, Alan, would probably say, do what brings you life and stop doing what deadens you. And he would talk much more about passion and joy. I think this is how we express ourselves better when we're truly alive in what we're doing. Energetically, people can feel that, right? So is it one or the other for you? Is it a mix of both and between a balance? I don't know. You got to do that work and do that introspection for you. But what is it? What is it uniquely yours? How can you bring your own essence in what you're doing? And hopefully, yes, you get to enjoy the ride, right? Otherwise, it's going to be very long, in my opinion. But that's for unique purposes. Let's talk about our universal purpose for a minute. Let's make it pretty blunt and simple, actually. At the end of the day, let's say you're on your deathbed. You reflect back on your life. I hope we can all say, I was a good human being. I gave, I received, I loved, I was loved. I was grateful for my life. I had compassion for others, for myself. Being that great version of yourself, being that great human being, I think is for me our universal purposes, whoever we are, in whatever strength we have and skills and talents, that will never change. And I truly believe that if we would spend a little bit more time there, our world would be much different. But I have hope that this awakening is taking place, and more of people and of you watching, absolutely, are wanting to master their own lives in some way, to be that great human being that you can be and contribute to this world. And the ultimate purpose that we all have is for some a little bit touchy, to talk about, because I would have to bring in the word spirituality at this point. And some people are open to this, some are not. I definitely am. And if you're watching this so far, you probably are too. But what is it, what do I mean by that, right? Ultimate purpose, bringing in spirituality in the mix. Well, I think we all have our own heroic path, our own spiritual path. We came into this world with maybe a set of soul challenges that we are granted to overcome. Maybe that's one way I can put it. Like, what if we came here with a soul death, if I can call it like that, or soul challenges, as an opportunity to transform them, transcend them, and heal. And walking that path will bring you closer to who you truly are. There's a lot of words around that and a lot of evasive phrases sometimes I find about who you truly are. If I would have to put it simply, I think who you truly are is extreme love, overflowing love. And we disconnect from that so much by resisting, by fighting, by fearing, by all of the conditionings and patterns that we accumulated along the ride, in our lives. And when you start to unlearn really what you've learned so far and connect back to who you truly are, which is that beautiful love, well, inner peace comes back into your life much more and for much longer. And you see things, you see people, you see situations and circumstances in a different eye. You bring in much more compassion and love and meaning in your every actions. And that's bringing you back to your essence. And soon enough, you'll realize that you're not alone in this mix, right? That we are all exactly the same, coming from the same place, going to the same place, or returning to the same place, call it whatever you want. Spirituality is not religion. Two different things for me. Spirituality is in every moment living and exercise, and religion is a mean through which we can connect back to that spiritual person that we are. So two different things. Don't get mixed up in this, as I did. You lose a lot of time and effort trying to just connect back to that good, loving human being that you are, for your own sake and the sake of every people that you will encounter. I could go on, talk about the Stoics and eudaimonia, and go into Zen Buddhism and maybe even Hinduism, that all talk about the same thing. Whatever is your allegiance, whether it's Allah, Buddha, Krishna, life, universe, it's all the same thing at the end. And to go back to that ultimate purpose of being who you truly are, connecting with that source, expressing that light, that lights me up just talking about it. So here's my take on this topic about purpose, meaning, and calling, and hopefully those three unique, universal, and ultimate purposes will bring a different language that you can think about, talk about with others in different contexts, right? I think it's the beauty of those purposes that I just talked about. You can bring them into work and talk about it there as a unique purpose and a universal one, perhaps. And you can certainly bring it into your own heart and into your families and homes to talk about all three, and most importantly, the ultimate one. Thank you. I hope that helps and brought some perspective. I'm going to leave you on those few words. Actually, you know what? Let me try something different. This is very ad hoc. I'm not going to edit that video. I feel like we're leaving you with some meditative words, or a little bit of a prayer, or call it whatever you want. But I want to leave you with something that you can get inspired about and think about. So, yeah, let me get inspired here for a second and deliver those few words to you. I genuinely believe that you are a beautiful soul trying to express themselves into this world as best as you can, bring as much love and light as you can. And if you doubt that for a second, please go into your own heart. Be still for a minute. And just listen to that beautiful voice, that compassionate voice that's telling you how important you are, how worthy you are. Yeah, you are loved. You are loved. And I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And see you next time. Cheers.